everybody, this is Patty with The Leather Lady again, LLC, and we're going to be talking about rosettes today. What the heck is a rosette? Is that something we put on our cakes? No, it's actually, well, it is actually, but when you're decorating a cake. But you can also put these on your saddle. These are mostly for a Western saddle. I don't know if an Australian saddle, I've never seen an Australian saddle with them. But these are the part that goes underneath your concho to give it a little height, but also to decorate it a little bit more and also to protect the skirting on the saddle. There's many different types of rosettes, so you really need to know your saddle and what you want to do. I had somebody email me and they were changing out a rosette that goes from a center piece to a slotted. They want a slotted one. So there's all different kinds of slotted ones. So they want to change out their saddle strings. So this is going to show you the different type of rosettes, also how to slot a rosette that isn't slotted. So let's get started and figure out what tools we're going to use first. So it doesn't take too much. There's a couple ways of doing it. You can do them by hand, or you can get a handy dandy punch, but you got to know the size. A lot of people go into it and, oh, I'm just going to do it. And they mess up their rosettes, and then they got to go buy more. So also, too, if you need rosettes, let me know at theleatherladyllc.com. I do have rosettes. I don't have them on the website, but just contact me, and I can ship you some rosettes. So we're going to talk about two ways to do this. So you're going to see, I'm going to show you a bunch of different rosettes, okay? This one here is mainly for a concho that has a screw in the center. So say you have a screw on your saddle and you just want a solid concho, not one that is slotted, okay? So you just want to have a nice concho. That's what you would use this one for, okay? The slotted conchos, you are putting your saddle strings to it, okay? And then you're going to make an actually pretty design. You're going to come through. This one's actually backwards, but you're going to make a nice slotted design through that. Now these got big round holes, which is sort of weird because when you are cutting your saddle strings, your saddle strings are usually straight. So you'll see rounded holes, or you'll see actually slotted holes. This is a cheaper thinner type of rosette, probably more of a tandy or just a really cheap one. And you would re-dye this to the color that you wanted. You're going to see there's several different colors here. I've dyed some of these here or pulled them off of saddles that they didn't want them anymore, just for samples. So this is what we're going to show you how to do. Okay, so we're going to slot. So if you have one of these, you pretty much are sort of stuck with that hole in the center, which is okay, because if you look at this one here, there's a little pinhole in the center. Sometimes they'll stick a nail in the center of that. If you watch my saddle string replacement video, and I'll put that up here above, you will see how I nail that into the saddle. Okay, so there may be a little spot in there. There may be a hole like that in there, that kind of a thing. But in order to get these slots, there's a couple easy ways to do it. So let's get started. What tools do you need? You either need a hole punch, this kind of a hole punch, kind of a thing, or you can actually use what I normally use is a little, whoops, I was making some holes, hole punch. Okay, this is a slotted hole punch. You can get them in sets. You can do that too. So what else you'll need is maybe a little ice pick, or this is a awl pick kind of a thing. You'll need a razor blade of some sorts. I use the big, heavier box knives. You can use these little knives. However, if you're using it on this little thin thing, not a problem. But if you're going to go to this big, thick bugger here, or this thick, big bugger here, you're going to want to use something heavier. Okay, make sure your blade is sharp, okay, because you want to have a fresh blade in there anytime you use leather. So you can now remember, you can buy these punches in all different sizes. However, this is way too big for this, correct? It's way too big, because what most saddle strings are is they are usually a 1/2 inch or smaller, or if you might get some bigger ones, but I have not seen a saddle string bigger than 1/2 inch. So you're going to want to make sure that these holes are fitting the length or the width of your saddle string. So when you go to cut these, what size is your saddle string? Number 1, in width. Okay, you need to know this. Okay, so this is just a little under 1/2 inch. So I want a 1/2 inch hole. Oh, well, that one's going to work. However, it's way big, right? I could do that. However, this sucker is going to slide around. Woo! Wee! It does too much. Anyway, that's too big. I hate the round holes because your saddle string is straight, but they do come round. That one would work. This one is way too big. So do you see, you're going to have to know what size you're going to make your saddle string. Okay, so what you're going to do next is you're going to measure your saddle string. Say, okay, it's going to be a little bit under 1/2 inch. So I need to make, I've already made 2 holes. So I need to make that at least 1/2 inch in width. Okay, so what I did is, and you can do this, this one's really old. I don't like this one, so I used my other punch. But you can take it and punch a hole here and make a line. Okay, and this is where this little thing comes in. I make a line because I need it that width, and then I just punch another hole on the other side. And you can scratch that because we're going to cut that out. Okay, sorry, I moved the camera about there. So that's what this is for, just to make a scratch mark to go from there. Okay, so we're going to cut this out. Okay, let's see. I'm going to do this on here because I don't want to wreck my pounding board. So you're going to take it from the outside here, and you're just going to slowly cut. My blade isn't as sharp as I told you guys to make it. Then you're going to turn it over and you're going to do the same, just on the quite of the outer edge of that. Now this is what I call the poor man's way to make a slotted concho, because I was poor for so many years of doing leather. I had to find all the different ways to do leather. Okay, so you know, this is an inexpensive way, I should say, because I've been told over the years, don't say cheap, don't say this stuff. Now, if you got a little piece on the back, just twist it off. Not a big problem. And there you have a slot. Okay, it's not going to be perfect. However, when you put your saddle string in there, it's not going to matter. Okay, I'm a Virgo and a perfectionist, so I'm going to try to get it as straight as I can. That's just me. Now you say, well, Patty, look at all that inside there. I don't like that. Well, that's okay. Then you just grab yourself a little piece of sandpaper of any kind, rip a little piece off, fold it up, and you can just sand it down. Okay, but like I said, guys, you want to not really worry too much about this part, because you are going to go ahead and put your strings through that, so you're not going to see it. So then you've got to figure out how wide you want that. Now, some of these are actually pretty wide. Some of them are not. It's all to your preference, because when you go to lace that through on your saddle and want to make it pretty, it depends on how much you want in between to have that beautiful little design in between. So we're going to go ahead and do this again. And my table is probably going to jump. So I'm going to put this on top of here, just so I can show you. Now, you can measure in between here and say, oh, well, I just want maybe, no, where is this? I just want something really narrow. So, and it may be off a little bit, but I am going to go here. This is just for example, guys. I'm going to put a poke here. That's where I want my hole. And I'm going to put a poke here where I want my hole. It's a little bit off, so when I go make my hole, I can adjust that. That's just about where I want my hole, all right? So I'm going to take my handy dandy punch. I'm going to take my hammer. I forgot, you guys are going to need a hammer if you have these kind of punches. These punches will last you for a long time. You can, unfortunately, get a set of them from China, Loving it, China. But they do come sort of dull. So that's another video for another time. So I'm going to go ahead and punch that out. This is where I'm going to take my poker, push it through. Go ahead, and if you got a little bit back there because maybe your tool isn't that sharp, just twist it off. Or you can cut it off. Whatever you choose. Get your fingers out of the way, guys. I don't know how many projects I do that I have blood, sweat, and tears come through. Almost all my projects. All right, so we're going to do that second hole. Try to line it up as even as I can. Okay, get that off of there. All right, so now I can get rid of this. So we have that. Whoop, yeah, that's fine. Okay, I'm going to get rid of my hammer. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and cut here again. You're just doing this on the edge. Remember, on the outside edge, take it slow, guys. You're not pulling. You're just cutting a few little pieces. Because if you pull, you're going to slice right through this, okay? So go slowly. And then go on the other side. You can flip it upside down and do it. And there you've got two slots. This one here, okay, I admit, this one's a little off. We are human. It's not really going to matter that much. I can always make this hole a little bit different, you know, if I want to make this hole a little bit longer. And that one's a little bit longer. Let's go ahead and straighten that out. It isn't going to matter too much. So you can see these are off a little bit. And that one's pretty good. But, you know, just depends on the day and what kind of mood, how tired I am in, and all that kind of stuff. Now, here's the hint, guys. You do want to get them sort of in the middle. Actually, it doesn't matter because it depends on where you have your... I would be putting this on the top. Then I would be pulling through, and then the rosette would be on the bottom. So it doesn't have to be 100%. So if you mess up a little bit, don't stress about it. It's just going underneath your concho. You're not going to see it. The one thing I will say, though, if you have this color or this color, and you're coming and you're trying to make it from one of these, you want to make sure that you dye your... You want to cut and then dye your color into your thing because you want that dye into your holes. Okay, so always cut first, then dye. All right, dye, and then dye. I'm just joking. Here's another one that I did earlier, so we'll go ahead and do that a little bit more straighter. So we're going to go ahead, and you see how I did the line in there? I don't know if you can see that in the video, but I did do one of the lines in there so that I can get a straight line with the ruler. Okay, now if you're watching me on the big camera, I'm sweating like a pig, you guys. I'm going to start dripping sweat here in a minute. We are at 90 degrees today, and I told this young lady, or I don't know if it's a lady or a man, I'm sorry, I apologize, that I would get this video out. So I want to get this so she can work on her saddle. So we're going to cut this off. And I take my time, and I don't, you know, I don't care. I don't have to hurry. I'm not in a big hurry about doing anything. So just go slow. This here, now, what's interesting about this piece of leather here, when you buy these things, they're not oiled. Oil them up when you're done because they are drier than snot. Okay? Well, snot's really not that dry, is it? Why do we say that? Okay, I didn't go all the way through again. But they are dry. So you really want to... oil them up. And the other thing about oil, remember, is that when you oil, you are going to darken that leather. So if you do not want them dark, be mindful of the oil that you're using. That's another video. Like I said, I am not using a sharp knife, otherwise this would be cut through. I just put the video together really quick for you guys. Because I haven't been doing videos. I've been working so much. I just haven't had time. But when you guys ask me for a video, you want a video? I try to get one out right away. Because I know you're needing to do something. You want to do something, and you're right in the heat of wanting to do a project. You don't want to lose that inspiration. You don't want to lose that. So I try to get those videos out real quick. All right. Now that side of the leather was actually a little bit looser. I mean, thinner, excuse me. I'm going to clean this up just a little bit. And there you go. A slotted concho. Again, you can go ahead and take your sandpaper in there just to clean it up a little bit. You can even go back through there. That cut's not good. Like I said, I'm a perfectionist. I'm a Virgo. I probably would just scream. Okay. Now, if you have a little Dremel too, I do have a Dremel. I'm not going to get it out for this little project. A little sand Dremel, you could do that too. Get a sand Dremel in there. I don't care, to be honest. Oops, see, I told you I was going to start dripping. Because I'm not going to see this. I'm not going to see it. So that's pretty much where that is. Okay. So when I put these straps through, where's the other one? For an example. This is not the size strap that this would go through, but if you were to do this, you're not going to see it. So if I had the right width strap, you're not going to see that. Now this is where you can make a dot. I do this because I put it into the saddle, because if somebody's holding on to this, I don't want it to rip off the saddle. I put a dot here in the center, and then I put a very small saddle nail in there, but it's got to be at the center of this, and then this holds it. So when I go to make my pretty design, go watch the other video, the saddle string video, and I go through that with you, then you won't see any of that. All right, you won't see it, so it doesn't matter. All right, that's all there's to it. There is a lot of variety. There is a lot of different ones. Just depends on what you like. And you can do them this way. Just get a big hole punch. Oh my gosh, I got to take these off. Look at this, guys. I'm sweating bullets. You think I'd lose a couple of pounds doing this? No. I would love to, though. But the thing is that it doesn't matter. If all you have is hole punch and you want to shoot that route through the round hole, shoot it through the round hole. It doesn't matter. You don't have to go to this length, but if you want to learn something new, there you go. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Please, if you watch this far, share it. Maybe somebody else needs to know how to do this or wants to know about the different type of rosettes. And if you want to learn how to dye them, easy peasy, not really hard at all. Just contact me and I will do a video on dyeing rosettes. But also too, know that you want to cut before you dye. Okay. Don't dye first, because then you can't finish the rosette because you already dyed. Sorry, I'm feeling crazy today. So don't forget to watch videos from my leatherladyllc.com, either the YouTube channel or go on my website. There are some links there to go see some other videos. I also have a Facebook. Join my Facebook at Leather Lady LLC. And I hope to see you on the next video. And this was hopefully educational for you. Take care. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to walk in absolute truth and love. Bye-bye now.